Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue our podcast and I ask the question, where did you get your producer name from? How do you come up with producer names and artist names? And if you guys don't know, BusyWorks Beats came from Busy Works, which is a Bape store, I think in New York. So I was in love with Bape. I loved Pharrell's style, Lil Wayne. They just made Bape sound so cool. Soulja Boy made Bape sound so cool. They had the best camos, the best hoodies. I still have yet to buy a Bape hoodie. It's been years and years and years. I've loved their style, but I've never bought my own authentic Bape hoodie. I've had a fake one back when I was in high school, but I want the real deal. I need to just lock it down and buy a hoodie one day so I can wear it in these videos since I'm wearing hoodies anyway. I used to think that I would never wear a hoodie, so I didn't plan on buying one. But my point is, my name came from Busy Works store, and that was from the the Bape stores up in New York. And then I just added beats. You know, it was the common thing back then to have whatever beats. So I just added beats on the end of Busy Works. So I want you guys to realize this. Your name will be like, who would have thought XXX Tentacion would be a name that people knew and loved? Who would have thought Lil Pump would be a name that people loved and admired? You got to realize that you make the name. It doesn't matter if your name is XYZ or Remote. It doesn't matter the name. What matters is the energy behind the name. Are you going to put in the years of branding that it takes to make your name important to people? There are technologies to where people say Coca-Cola is important because of the Coca-Cola. It's like a repetitive phonetic sequence. But are you building a gazillion-dollar brand? No. I mean, maybe your personal brand will go that high, but are you building a multi-layered corporation? No, you're not. Most of the people watching this are not building that type of corporation. So Coca-Cola, Google, 50 Cent, Eminem, different things like this. They try to keep it within 3 syllables and to where it has rhyming phonetic. To me, it's not that much of a science. You make your name. It's the energy you put behind it. BusyWorks Beats was, I'm trying to think back in high school. I graduated 2009. And I remember I had BusyWorks Beats up on MySpace probably in 2006 or 2007, some early date like that. Now it took we're in 2023 now. So that was that 16 years. Okay, of me just repetitively saying BusyWorks Beats, repetitively making everything about BusyWorks Beats, consistently making all my usernames the same thing: BusyWorks Beats on YouTube, BusyWorks Beats on Twitter, BusyWorks Beats on MySpace. You have to keep that consistency throughout all the evolutions of the internet. That's what's going to create your producer name or your artist name. Trying to change your name to, thinking that changing your name is going to dramatically just catapult you out into outer space is a fantasy. If you think a name's going to do that, imagine we have AI that could generate names in a flash of, in a blink of an eye. They can make AI avatars. They can make AI social media influencers. They can outdo you 1,000,000%. It's not the name. It's not the letters. It's not the language. What it is the human energy you put into something, the amount of focus you put into something. So next time you come up with your producer name, you can use those silly name generators. You could use a nickname that people gave you. Technically, the name I used to go by on Xbox was Game King C. And that came from my favorite game of all time, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a trading card game. I still play it on my Xbox. And I made my gamer tag Game King C. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! They have something called the King of the Game, or the King of Games, which is like the main character. And I said, okay, instead of being King of the Games, I'm going to be Game King. Okay, which is basically the king of the game. And then I added C because my first name is Carlin. So it's Game King C to represent my name. Back in high school and college, they used to call me C Money. I thought that was too vague. It just wasn't my identity. Okay. But Game King C was also kind of a playful term. So I wanted something a little more like what I actually loved. And I loved Bape. I loved the sound of Pharrell. I love making beats. So I combined what I loved. It's just 2 things I love: Bape and beats. Okay. Combine that into one. And it just, what it is though, is the repetition over and over and over the years. Again, like I said, 2007 all the way to 2023. That's about 16 years of just consistently identifying as BusyWorks Beats. I put that as my identity to the point where I'm more responsive to people calling me by Busy or Game than I am my actual name. It's kind of crazy to think. Like I respond better to people calling me busy or game than my actual government name, which is crazy to think. Because I feel like when people say my name, like they try to act like they know me and they say my name, I'm like, you don't know me. I don't know you. It's actually a kind of not offensive, but it's just like distasteful. It's just like you don't know me like that. Call me Carlin. Just because you read a book does not mean you should call me by my first name. So I'm not telling you what to do. You can call me whatever you want. Game, busy, Carlin. You can call me C Money if you want. You can call me EMAG for those who even know what that is. You can call me what else did I say? Busy. I already said that. Busy Works. Just whatever you know me as, I identify as that. And what I'm trying to teach you here is the nuance of identification. How do you identify? What's the self-image that you hold with that name? If the name doesn't match your self-image, you're going to get rid of it anyhow. So for example, C Money was kind of flashy and gaudy to me. They called me C Money because I was around a lot of wealth in college. You know, one of the kids was the grandson of the Guggenheim family who owned a museum in New York worth like gazillions of dollars. Like I was around the richest kids in the entire nation. Okay. And, you know, they're so wealthy that it was like, why am I even trying to compete with these kids? You know, you just got to partner up with them and call it a day. You can't compete against that type of wealth. It's ridiculous. So, you know, everywhere I went, I saw money, see money. And I just kind of introduced myself to friend groups as C Money because it was a rap name and it was also, you know, just what I was seeing and living when I was younger. But now, you know, it's kind of gaudy and flashy. I didn't identify with that. That wasn't my self-identity. That was me at that specific moment in time. I also went by, I just remember my other rap names. Saint Mirage was another rap name. I forgot about that. Saint Mirage. I don't know what I was going for that one, but that's one of those like name generator type things. It's a Saint Mirage. I don't know what, I'm trying to think, what would that come from? I guess Saint being Christianity or like religious stuff. Mirage, I guess I just thought it rhymed. We used to have now I'm remembering all this stuff all of a sudden. We used to have this group. So I loved rapping way before I loved making beats because I discovered making beats as I was rapping. And we had this little play group called 12 GM or 12 Gauge Mafia before 808 Mafia. That's funny. They kind of had the same concept, but it was called 12 GM. And then, you know, it's just funny how all the names I had. Wow, now I'm thinking about it. 12 GM, C Money, Saint Mirage it evolved into, and then Busy Works Beats after that. Once I identified myself as a producer. And what I'm saying is my identity changed per thing. And then I found what I actually am and what I identify myself as. And that's the expression that I give through my actions. So depending on how you self-identify, what is your self-image on the inside, that's what you will express on the outside. So if it doesn't match, you have what's called cognitive dissonance. And that creates a lot of friction in your life, a lot of like logical justifications you can't make. Okay, a lot of friction. So long story short, TLDR is if you're coming up with a name, make sure that you love that. Like make sure whatever it is, you love it and it's on your inner image. You know, you want to make sure you're projecting what's on the inside, not trying to force the outside on the inside. It's not going to work. Okay. So whatever your name is, make sure that's what you actually love and that's what you see yourself as. And then the name is the phonetic match or mirror of that specific image that you have. So that's all I'll give you today. But what's your producer name? How did you get your producer name? Best story in the comments below may get featured in the next video. Subscribe if you're new. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. Peace.